If we look at all our scriptures, from the Padma Purana to the Bhagavad Gita to the Vedantic theories, even the Yoga Sutras, they are replete with mentions of rebirth and past life. One particular line says that it takes about 8.4 million births to ultimately attain salvation or moksha. So being actually has to go through all those lifetimes to then attain the ultimate. But what scientific proof do we have that past life exists?
So, science and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. So, Ian Stevenson did 2,000 cases of children who recall their past lives. Now, that is a scientific study, right? And also, we have to understand that recent theories of, let's say, quantum entanglement are also speaking about one particle in one part of the universe connected to another particle in another part of the universe, affecting change. Even you have the Penrose studies, which speak about the fact that near-death experiences are proof that there is something called the soul. Because when the soul leaves the physical body and the patient is kind of resuscitated, the patient will say, I had a near-death experience. That means the soul returns back in the physical body once the near-death experience is over. And in the Penrose studies, it is mentioned, if the patient does not recover, then the soul is going to search for another body. This is not spoken by a psychologist or a spiritual teacher. It's spoken by a physicist. Recently, we had a conference in actually Ayodhya, which was the first conference in the study of consciousness. And we had people from NASA, people who are researching sleep, who have come there and spoken about consciousness. Right? Patanjali Sutra speaks about Pratiprasad Kriya. That means going back in time. Even in, let's say, psychology, for that matter, if you have to deal with trauma, you have to go back in time to the source of the trauma. So what stops us from believing that the source of the trauma may not be in a memory I'm not conscious about? Source of the trauma can be in a memory that you're not conscious about. If I asked you, do you remember how you felt in the womb of your mother?
No.
But you were in the womb of your mother. Can you say it was false? You were not in the womb of your mother just because you can't remember it? No. So there are many things that we don't remember, and recall does not mean they did not exist. Of course they existed. Let us take the example of Shanti Devi. The first past life recall that happened with this young woman, Shanti Devi, who was a young girl who recalled her past life, the name of her husband, where she lived, and she was taken there, and she identified the place where she had lived. She identified her family members. Not only that, Shloka, she even identified the place where she had buried some gold.
If you enjoyed watching this content, you can watch the full in-depth video on the Body to Being podcast hosted on Shlloka YouTube channel. To continue watching shorter pieces of this content, you can subscribe to Shlloka Clips on YouTube. Don't forget to like this video and follow us on Spotify. Pranam.